Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to a brand new week. This is Eli from TreeFall Studios. Let me just get everything set up here and then we can get started. All right. Looks good. Sweet. One sec. Let's see how that looks like in the background. Just have some tilting tiles floating back there. Look at that. You can see it. You can see the tree fall. Well, it's like here. There it is on the TV. Yeah. Yeah, that looks awesome. Okay, let me get my headphones in so I can hear something's going off. Looks like we got the microphone at a decent level. You guys can let me know where the sound is. You know what? Let me see if this water's enough. Maybe I need to get another one. Welcome to stream, everybody. I can see we got some people rolling in. Today we're back. I'm feeling good. I hope everyone in the chat is feeling good, ready for a brand new week of fun game development and just fun times. We are so far behind in this game. That's what's happening here. But we're going to beat this level. We're going to finally finish this level today. And then it's going to be pretty sweet. I think the lighting looks pretty good. I got quite a bit coming in. And you can sort of see that I'm opening up that window as well. It kind of has a little bit of brightness coming in. Gonna fix my hair a little bit. Looks a little bit better. Yeah, yo, Space My Name. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Hey, I've been watching the vids. Made it on time today. Glad you're here. It's so much fun when you're here live. And Carl Winslow says, hey, a tree fall showing some love, but headed back over. Have an awesome day, everyone. Awesome. Glad to hear that. Thanks for tuning in for the little bit of time that you're here. That's very awesome of you. So yeah, so we are here. I know that this is a little bit farther along than I stopped, but it does look still like we've done nothing. There's a couple things. We started the third hallway over the weekend, but I'll tell you what, guys. Let me get one more thing on my phone real quick. And then we can get going. But yeah, it was crazy. The weekend for me was highly busy, a lot of unforeseen stuff going on. So I didn't really work too much. And I spent a lot of time doing yard work, to be honest. It was, I didn't think it was going to take me that long. But I worked in the yard from 10:30 on Saturday until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Got some sunburn as well. Um, so I didn't get too far on this maze. So sadly, that's going to be what we're going to be working on today. So technically speaking, I need to finish like 6 more levels in the next 7 days to be on schedule. So this level's got to go. It's got to go fast, and then we got to do another one today, basically on the stream. So I think we could do it. I think we can do it, guys. Well, welcome in, and we'll just go ahead and get started. So basically, I hate how these hallways were done. They're not on the grid. They're not on the same scale. On Friday stream, all we were doing was like messing around, trying to get these right. I might just go ahead and delete them completely and start over with something that'll be faster. So I'm testing it out here, and I'm the third hallway is like I just realized I was like, why wasn't I doing it like this beforehand? Like, why don't I just stay on the grid and just instead of like coming out with the walls and like shrinking them up to where they're not on the 5x5 grid and then like deleting the walls and then extruding walls just so everything could be seen, and like why don't I just make the path that we need to make first and then extrude the walls afterwards. I think that's going to be much more efficient. I'd like to say, but it's still going to be a little hard. We can't just like click on all of them and then just extrude them, because basically like right here, like let's say we pull like these walls out or whatever, um like like this much. Well, like this one, it'll just overlap. You see what I'm saying? And like we don't need this spot. So actually, what we should have done, we could have done this correctly. No. Uh, yeah, I mean, it's still gonna be like this is just gonna be off like a little wonky, but basically, I think like the quickest way is to keep doing it this way, and then literally just do like this, and then like just move this in. Um, and yeah, I think that'd be fine, to be honest. So this would be global. We're on the X. This would be 10, so this should be 11. Well, the whole thing should be 11. Yeah, so something like this is what I'm thinking about doing. Um, beak. Well, actually, I don't know how this is gonna work, guys. I've already rethought my rethought. I rethought this to make this better, but then I hate modeling. Well, this sucks. Because then no, it'll work. Yeah, because then we just do it like this. Um, yeah. So then the walls are like this. So all we have to do is basically just texture this part of the wall in order to get it to work. And but it has to match this one. So then like there's gonna be like around all the corners there'll be like a weird tiling situation. And I think that we'll make this one the curviest hallway basically. And then like the other path from this one, we'll just also make it kind of straight. Just so we can save a little bit of time. Because already this will be like a little annoying because you'll be in like the little hallway and you'll be turning a bunch anyways. So this is like enough, I feel like, and that's what I was doing here. I was like turning. So I'm like, not a fan. This will be fine. We're just gonna speed this along and bookie. Um, yeah, yeah, that's fine. Although it's gonna be in the way just a little bit here, but who cares? We just got to get this one. We got to get this one done, and it'll be fine. Like no one understands that it's like a little smidgen off, you know, on the grid. Actually, let's wait. Let's do this first. Let's go ahead and loop cut him. I saw a couple of comments. So Space by Name says I picked up Maze 1 and 2 in Mighty Math. The Tiki guys in Maze are tough. Sweet. Are you playing on Steam, I guess? I was gonna say on the same day, I was like absolutely shocked. That was the best day of my life on Steam. Not the best day, but like there was two people on the same day, so you must have been one of them, Space My Name, that bought both Maze and Maze Pedestal of Trials. Someone else on the same day as you also bought Maze and Maze Pedestal of Trials. So I sold two of the each, and then a copy of Mighty Math, so that was you. And I remember thinking, I have never seen this before in my entire life on Steam. Like, this is the best day on Steam I've had in a long time. All right, this should be 11. Is this? Wait a minute. Are we still on the right track? How is this? Oh yeah, because it's negative 11. Negative 11. So thanks for picking them up and checking them out. He said, that's crazy. Glad I contributed. Yeah, so someone copied you. Someone somewhere in the world. It was also someone in the United States because I did sell like one overseas copy, but that was the United States purchase. So someone else the same day as you decided that they wanted to also play both Maze 1 and Maze 2. So I think the streams are getting people excited for the new Maze game. And rightfully so. This is going to be awesome. Although it doesn't look like it right now with all these weird hallways, but this is going to be fun. I promise when it's all done. All right, we're on the Y now. Y. So this needs to be 39. Yeah, this is going to look this will look correct basically when it's done. And I think this is like this is going to be a little easier. We're on the Y, negative 30. This needs to be negative 31. It will be a little easier to do this hallway, and then we'll just do the other hallway the same way. And then, yeah. Hmm. And then I think we'll just keep these hallways because this is not actually super quick. And then these hallways, this one is almost done. I spent meticulous time on Friday's stream trying to get these to line up. So like we just have like two more things to do, and then we just have to do it for this one. And it shouldn't be too bad because there's only one scale that's off. Like this is like a 4 size hallway, and then this is a 4. That's a 5 still, and then we got to get these ones. But these are all the same scale, so this shouldn't be too bad. So yeah, I think it'll be okay-ish as long as we just do this method for this hallway and then the other one. And then we'll just go texture all the bottom of this floor, maze floor 1 and 2, and then we should be good. And then that should be ready to go, I think. X is 5, so this needs to be 4. Also -5, so this needs to be -4. Yeah. Yeah, you guys can see the TV just nonchalantly just chilling. Maze, not maze, tilting tiles. That looks kind of cool. I was like rushing. I was like trying to get a new stream intro video done, but then I was like, well, this is taking way too long. And then I was gonna be late to the stream again. So I'm like, I'm gonna work on a better startup screen. Um, and have one that can go longer than the 20 seconds because I think my intro right now is like 20 seconds. X is 20. This needs to be 19. Um, and then like I don't know if that's enough time really to get everything ready. I'm like hurrying, trying not to be late. I didn't have my mic ready again. So I'm gonna do like what everyone else does. All the rest of the streamers that I see, they have like those streams starting soon, and it's just like a endless loop instead of like an intro video like mine is. It's like an endless loop, just letting you know that the stream is coming soon, and so they can get everything ready basically. And I think I'm going to try to do that tonight or tomorrow. Although we're going to have a huge storm where I'm at, and it's going to be a little sketchy. So we're going to have to probably unplug the computers and stuff shortly after this stream is over with. Um, and make sure we don't get anything shocked. Because actually, the last storm we had was pretty killer. It actually shocked and destroyed our TV. Just tried to turn on the TV and it was just dead. And I was like, never had that happen before. So it's quite interesting experience. Can't have my computer get shocked. I know my computer is in a pretty decent surge protector, but can't be losing all this progress um, on these games here. Um, Thomas, welcome to the stream, good sir. Hello, hello. Welcome to the gang. The TreeFall tribe is here today. 22. We're on a Y. 22 and a half. This is a half. Sorry, this needs to be 21 and a half. 21.5. Whoa! I'm on the Y. No wonder I'm doing this wrong. 5. This needs to be -4. Whoa! This needs to be -6. Come on, silly me. All right. Oh my goodness. Thomas says, just saying hi, heading off to the mechanic in a couple of minutes. That is what I did this morning. Today was Monday, full of errands. I got my car an oil change. And tires rotated this morning as well. So enjoy your time at the mechanic. It is always a pleasure. Usually they're kind of overbooked. Look at that. We closed up a lot of these vertices here. There will be some double faces. Should we go in and get them? Probably. Who cares? They're way too little to care. And we actually are probably going to need them in just a little bit, so we'll leave them. We'll got rid of the vertices. We're good. All the business expenses going well. I take it over there with your startup. Let's see, what time is it over there? You're on lunch. You take the car to the mechanic on lunch. All right. Let's take this up by 10. That way we can just fully scale those. This is going to be a little annoying. You know what? No, it's not. Let's do it like this. Let's actually delete all of these. Whoa! Not that. Excuse me, fellas. What do you think you're doing here? And technically, we could delete... No, we can't. We can delete that little green one if I can get a hold of it. Forget it. Forget it, forget it. No one will ever see it. And that's not going to do nothing. Okay. Now we're going to take you. I guess we can go ahead and get rid of these. And go by 10. Get rid of a couple of those vertices. All right, we're almost sealed in here. The only thing is, I hate this. The only thing about this is we're not exactly even here. If we do the 10 here, what we should do is do the 10 from here, but then we don't get the perfect scaling on these walls. It's really this. These guys are ugly and annoying, and they shouldn't have been done this way. Although still, once again, they were done this way in order to figure out how to make both of these walls be fine. So yeah, probably gonna think that doesn't actually matter really. I wonder if this is now connected. I probably shouldn't have connected this because all right. We got to do a couple things, and I think I've got it figured out, guys. And I'm also behind. This would have been a little bit farther along today, but this morning I was doing a bunch of errands and stuff too. Regular household ones. But also I was taking care of a lot of TreeFall Studios business expense type deal stuff. Trying to figure out different things. To make the business run a little bit smoother. And it takes up way more time than you guys, might think. Whoa. Do I still have this open? I have it open in the wrong spot. No, I have it in the right spot. Let's hide this. Yo, people are popping into our Discord live. Welcome, welcome to the Discord if you're also in the stream. I'm going to wave and say hello. I should close off. Whoa! Twitter is going crazy. Looks like some people found our tweets for some reason. I don't know which hashtag. Actually, no, this is the old one. For some reason, people found the old tweet for a couple days ago. Beats me. But a couple people found the new one. So welcome to the stream. If you found us, let us know in the comments below if you found us through Discord or if you found us through Twitter. That's cool information. Helps us figure out where to continue advertising more. But we need to figure out the height for this. And this is... We're looking at the z-axis now. It's 103 to 111. So what is that? 8, 9, 10. So this is a 10. So technically speaking, to get our wall good, we align with everything else. Get the walls good. Good. We can go like this. And here. I also worked on maybe something interesting for you guys, especially for our PlayStation fans. I know a lot of our people watching in the audience now are Steam users. Like Spaceman Aim was letting me know, he picked up the games on Steam. We do have the games on Steam, and our Maze franchise is pretty. Oh, that's not what we wanted. Come on, focus. Talk and focus. It's pretty good on Steam. Like the sales are pretty good. But this game is coming out on Steam as well. But it's mostly a massive PlayStation seller. This game also sold, not this one, but like the original one sold a lot on the Wii U. This was originally, the first Maze game was a Wii U exclusive game, actually. So... talk about different times, guys. That's for sure. This is... oh, wait a minute. Does that need to be flipped? I don't know. Yo, AZ Mists, welcome to the stream and welcome to our Discord. There is a desert-themed maze. I don't know if you've played the original Maze game or Maze Pedestal of Trials. There is desert-themed levels in both of those games. We haven't made the desert-themed level for this one yet, but I think that that's one of the ones that we will do, just because it's fun. Whoa, this is really wonky scale. This needs to go over like 0.55, I think, to scale all the way out. Nope, it just needs to go to 0.6. Let's see. Nope. Once again. 0.45? 0.475. I can just visually see we're not in the right place. 0.5 is not the right place either, because it hits a little too far. We need like another 0.525? Close. Is it just 0.55? I thought I tried that already. That's too far. 0.545? That's about as close as we're going to get it, I guess. My math does not work. Ignore that. Let's go up by 2. Actually, we're not even supposed to fill up the whole thing. It's going to make these a little smaller. Because is this a 4? No, this is 5. That's right. Does that tile? Yeah. Yeah, good enough. Yeah, these are a little weird sections. But let's see. Yeah, the desert-themed levels. In the original Maze, there is a pyramid level where you go into a giant pyramid. and you do the maze inside of that, and it's just lit up by crystals. And then in Maze Pedestal of Trials, there's a level called the Tomb, and you're like inside, deep inside of a pyramid, and it's like 3 stories, and you're basically inside of the desert pyramid, and you have to solve your way out. So probably gonna do something along those lines, but make it a little bit different. Also, in the original Maze game, there is also a bonus level for Journey of a Special Average Balloon, and we use the desert theming with the cactuses and stuff for that game. So yeah, desert stuff is in quite a bit of our games, to be honest. I typically like the desert worlds. Even in the Gem Collector, right? That's the desert world is number 1 for our 2D platformer game. So yeah, deserts are definitely a go for the most part. And let's see. Spaceman Name says I pretty much only use Steam unless a game is on Switch. Yeah, I mean that's what a lot of people do now. Um, let's see if we can. Ooh, that looks disgusting. What is all that? No vertices. All right, we're good. We can keep going. Most people are like that these days. The Switch is like their primary game console. I feel like the industry and the media coverage, the game developers have kind of figured that out because, they're porting every game under the sun to the Switch. That's for sure. Anyone who has the opportunity to is. Nintendo's financial report was very interesting. Their recent financials. I was just talking to some of my friends about that. Their active user stats are just unbelievably crazy. I mean, just bonkers. How many people actively use the Switch? Like a lot, considering to them their highly active numbers or whatever. 7 years in, most consoles can't even dream of hitting that. Like their active users stats was 116 million Switches highly active during the year, and yeah, that's pretty incredible when you consider that like over 10 years, PlayStation 4 has only sold 117 million copies, and Switch has basically that many active users. Because you got to realize there's a lot of PS4s and landfills now, and not being used and sitting in GameStop traded in because they got a PS5 instead, that kind of thing. So to have those kind of numbers, it's crazy because they're only at 130 million Switches, which means that only 14 million Switches are inactive users. Or in other words, 14 million are lost somewhere in landfills and GameStops and, the attic because you didn't have, or they're just dusted full because you don't actually play Nintendo games. I got a friend like that. He has a Switch, but he literally doesn't play it. Hasn't played it in years. He barely pulls it out just to play every once in a while. He's basically only held on to it just so he can play Metroid Prime 4, or else he would have sold it. And Metroid Prime 4 gets delayed more than any other game. I saw a meme on Twitter just like this morning or yesterday. Like it's been 2,245 days since they announced Metroid Prime 4 for Switch. They announced it like when the Switch was a thing in 2017 is when they announced it. And like this is 7 years, and not only have they not released it, but we haven't even seen footage at all. So I guess Nintendo knows that they're holding on to people. Some people are holding on to their Switches just till that game comes out. They gotta just keep delaying it as far as they can, so the Switches don't go back to the GameStop grinder. Mm-hmm. But I'm kind of with you now. Although you can see this is my PS4 running Tilting Tiles. Is it still showing up? It's decent. My camera's not the best, but you can see it, kind of floating in the background. Um, I've told you guys on stream a bunch. I have a bunch of PlayStation issues that I didn't really want to buy a PS5 personally. They haven't sold me on it yet, and we talked about this on a stream one of the other weeks. And but I still like my PS4. Like if my suggestion literally, like this sounds really bad. Like Sony would fire me. They'd be like, "Well, you can't make games for us anymore." Um, but if you're like, Space by Name or someone who plays Switch only and you've never played PlayStation, like I would literally not suggest getting a PS5. Like I don't really see the reason to. But I would say, hey, go to Walmart or GameStop if you want it real cheap. But Walmart is selling. They're still shipping new PS4s now. I just buy a new PS4, save you a couple $100. Most of the exclusive games that are really awesome are on the PS4, and the PS5 games that are out, all of them were cross-gen, so you could pick them all up. The only one that isn't cross-gen is Demon Souls and Ratchet and Clank. And Ratchet and Clank is now coming to PC, so you already got Steam. So most of their games that weren't cross-gen are coming to PC. So you don't really need a PS5 for those. And then the PS4 is still getting stuff. Like it's getting things like the new announcement this morning that Red Dead is coming out on Switch and PlayStation 4. They're not making a PS5 version. They're making a PS4 version. So the PS4 version um, is playable on the PS5. So they didn't waste their time making a native PS5 version because they know that people can just buy it on the PS4 and play it on the PS5. So that is literally what they chose to do to get their user base in. At least for now, it might come later, but so PS4 still gets new stuff, and their PS4 is still getting like the old stuff, which is like all that you should actually really care about is like the old PlayStation stuff. Because I mean, there's a couple good PS4 games that are still like only playable on PS4 that I'd like suggest like getting. But the real thing is like, well, now PS1 games are coming to the PS Plus service and stuff, and you can buy them. Unlike um, Nintendo Switch Online, they have online games coming to the service if you pay for the online service, which is what Sony's doing now with like PS1 games and PSP games. But on Sony's games, you can also buy them, so like you don't actually have to um, pay for the service. If there was just one of the old games that you like really really wanted versus like paying for the whole service or whatever, you could just do that, and you can just pay um like they're like 9.99 each. That's it. Um which is pretty crazy. Can I? No, that doesn't work that way. Let's put it back. So yeah, I'd say like if you wanted to try a PlayStation, I would just get the cheap one. Don't get the new one. But they probably boot me off the PlayStation dev server if they heard me saying that. So don't share this live stream. Don't hit the like button. More people can't see this. That's for sure. I mean, I know people like their PS5s and stuff, but I just don't really get the point. It's just really expensive unless you don't have a good PC. And like if you don't have a good PC, it makes sense um because then you can play all the PlayStation games, you can play all the third-party games, and you can buy them on discs and physical, which I feel like is a better way to do it than the PC downloads, anyways. So then that makes sense. But if you already have a PC and you don't really care for that many PlayStation first parties, if you're more of a Switch gamer, you like Nintendo style games better, I wouldn't say that there's much on the PS5 for you for those type of gamers, basically. But there's some on the PS4, I would say. 325. Would that be 6.5? No. That's not right. Or would that be half of 3? Is that like 16? Let's do my math. There you go. All right, Space My Name. He says PS4 is going for $100 on eBay. Wow. Yeah, if you could get a PS4 for $100, um, then surely that's a good deal. Although, like I was saying, I had a lot of issues with my PS4 4875. Let's see if this works, guys. No, it's not going to. Man, where is the why when they're not even like that? Why can't I get them in the middle? We'll just get it close again, and then because there's no way we'll get the scale right. But it'll lock up in place and be fine. Yeah, the PS4s, like the really really old ones, I wouldn't get that on eBay. Like the one I have is like OG launch one, you know, and my hard drive went dead. Well, I was having like a power issue, and like I was thinking that it was a cable issue, and I took the PS4 apart because I was like, I'm not buying a PS5. I still got some PS4 games I want to play and stuff, and you know, if it dies, it dies. I was like getting ready just to throw it out, and then like I opened it up. I watched some breakdown teardown videos, and I opened it up, and then I fixed the power issue. Like some cable was loose or something, so it no longer trips. But then my PS4 got so slow over the years. I think the hard drive was just like giving out. I think I damaged it and moving it and stuff because I would pick up my PS4 and take it with me like a ton of places. And like I was just on the store. I was like excited because I thought I fixed my power glitching issue, guys. And then I was like on the store just like checking it out. I wasn't even gonna buy anything, so I wasn't even like trying to go through the cart or anything like that. I was literally on the store to look and see how many new games had come out recently. And I was trying to see what my competition was going to be when I would be launching uh, Maze on PS4 and what the landscape was looking like, how many active reviews were going on the PS4, like how many people were currently, you know, using the PS4 because you can't really gauge sales because you don't really know like people on PS5. Like when I watch Let's Players, all the YouTubers I send my codes to, they will play the PS4 games on their PS5. And on the PS5 store, they got rid of the ratings. They copied the eShop method because I think that people realized or they got some kind of market data. My assumption would be that people tend to buy games more when they don't see the rating, and that's how they sell more of like games that just aren't really that good. That would be my guess. I think that's why the eShop did it because the eShop is full of like really trashy games and there's no star ratings on there anymore after the Wii U. All right, guys, that brick lines up. We're getting there, getting there. And then PS5 copied them, so I'm like, okay, well that wasn't just a Nintendo blunder. Then I'm like, well they must know something I don't. It must be about the purchasing habits. Only Xbox and Steam are the only people that still do like user scores on games. But the PS4 still has it, so you can't rate my PS4 games with a score of a 5-star rating or whatever on a PS5. But that means if I'm getting ratings, those people are doing it on PS4. So the people I usually send the games to, I can't tell because they're playing on PS5, but it looks like a lot of I can't tell if it's half still. I don't know how much of my audience is still playing the games on PS4 and who's playing them on PS5. Um, just because it's still a PS4 purchase or whatever. I should probably look into it. I think that I could maybe get some data from Sony on it. But the whole point of me saying all that is I think that there's quite a bit of people who are still playing on PS4. When I go on my personal friends list, I see quite a bit. It's like half and half. Like people are still playing their PS4s every day, and some people are on their PS5s and stuff. But so I was on the store, back to the actual story, and it just froze. And I was like, oh man, it's slowing down. I was like, oh, it's like the eShop now. I'm like, my PS4 is so slow. And like it froze to where it could not turn off. And all I did was just hold the power button for 10 seconds. You know, I did the let's do this safe shut off, hard shut off. And when I turned it back on, the hard drive was fried. The firmware was gone once again. So it was back to being dead. And then I was like, all right, well, I lost all my games again. And I think here is the death of this here PS4. And I was getting ready to give up. I was going to just chuck it in the garbage bin and just be like, well, I'm not playing PlayStation games anymore. But I went on Amazon and found like a PS4, a hard drive that would work on PS4. And it was only like 20 bucks. So I was like, okay, well, let's see if this new hard drive if the hard drive was the issue. And, you know, it just got old and slow. And because basically nothing would work. The home menu wouldn't work and all this kind of stuff. It just couldn't handle it anymore. And I'm like, well, maybe the hard drive just slowed down and fried off and stuff. So I just got it in the mail, and I just put it in last night, and I re-downloaded the PS4 firmware and all that, and it seems to. I'm just leaving it on right now. It's still running Tilting Tiles, so I'm thinking that might have fixed the problem. So I will continue playing the PS4 at least. But when that dies, I don't know after that. So it's kind of like, well, there's a couple games. There's a couple games I have. I was wanting to play. Already have. I didn't want to rebuy it on Switch. Like I have like all the Crash Bandicoot stuff, Crash and Spyro, which is like, you know, some of my favorite games as a kid. I have all of those like on the PlayStation, not on Switch. So I'm like, I don't really want to give up my save data and rebuy all those games and stuff. So I was like, let's see if we could just save the PlayStation. 20 bucks. It's not too much to see if we can save it versus buying a whole set of new games and, you know, on a new system, wasting time, starting over. Obviously 20 bucks. It's a lot cheaper than buying a PS5, you know. So yeah, fingers crossed, but it might work. So if I were you and you were looking at cheap PS4s on eBay, space my name, I wouldn't go for the old model. I would at least go with someone slim or something that was at least produced, um, you know, newer. Space My Name says, can the HDD, the hard drive, be replaced with any drive, or does it need to be special? It doesn't have to be special. It just needs to be like a regular hard drive. Like the one I got could work in your laptop. I mean, you can check the brands and stuff. I just have like a Seagate one that I got, just a regular, it's like a thin laptop one. It has to be the right size though. I don't know what the sizing, if there's different sizes or whatever. But like laptop ones work. And the one that I got is supposed to be like a little faster than the standard one that comes in, I guess. It's like it's not it has to be like a standard hard drive, but the one I got, it's like supposed to function, I guess. I mean, it's still ancient. It's like an ancient hard drive, but it's supposed to function like it's like a hybrid SSD drive, if that makes any difference. The advertising says it does, but I don't believe it. I think it's just a regular hard drive. But I was able to successfully remove it and replace it last night. And it's not too hard. The PS4 drives, you just take the cover off and you just replace it. It just takes one screw, just like a Phillips screwdriver. All you have to do is take off one screw and then you can pull the hard drive out. And then there's like 4 more screws to unscrew the hard drive from the bay. And then you just put the new one in and you just slide it back in and you can put the cover back on. Yeah, it's pretty efficient. So you could do that. I mean, because they would advertise it back in the day for you to, you know, like back in the day when, you know, like my PS4 was a 500 gigabyte model or whatever. And if you wanted to be like crazy and you wanted a lot of games like back in the day before they were so big, now they're so big, the games are so big, even the PS4 games, like 500 is nothing. And the Slims and everything, they all come with at least a terabyte or whatever. But Sony would, before they supported that and before they were selling, you know, larger size models, they would tell you, hey, you know, if you really want to be adamant about your gaming space, you can upgrade the hard drive yourself. You know, just take it out and boom, boom, boom. So, Spaceman Name says, um, I may pick up a PS4 Slim and throw an SSD in it. Oh, nice. The WDSSHD. I guess that's what it is. Mine was like the Seagate. It was like a hybrid drive HDD, but like supposed to be like a hybrid SSD. I guess that's what you mean. I don't know much about it, to be honest. It's like I was like, oh, we're starting to go into the realm of the computer knowledge. I'm like, sorry guys, just play the video games on the Switch. We can program, but I get my friend to help me build the computers that we develop on. Yeah. It's just it's a Seagate one. It was cheap. It was one of the ones that like I found on a list that was like guaranteed to work on the PS4, and literally it's like a $25 hard drive on Amazon, and I it was like on sale for $4 off. I paid like $21 for it. So yeah, not expensive at all. And my PlayStation. Let's see how we're running this whole stream. It's on over there. When the hard drive was messing up or that power issue, like it would just shut off, and then you'd have to reboot it. And then when you would reboot it, sometimes the firmware would be gone. That's why we kind of realized it's like a hardware issue or in the hard drive. But granted, I have had my PS4. I bought it in 2015, so it wasn't the first year that it came out, but that's still eight. That means that unit is 8 years old, and like I took it to the beach once. Not only we played on the beach, but like tossed it around at the house, and it went from apartment to apartment. When we were moving around and stuff, and I took it to college, and it was in a dorm room. And it's constantly going from the side to the bottom, and like I would toss it in book bags and then kind of like drop the drop the book bag. Not exactly the friendliest on it. So I think that over time, something just it's seen some things, let's say, and that doesn't include all of my gaming time. Like you guys would be shocked at like, oh, because I'm like I consider myself to be mostly a Nintendo player. I have like on my shelf back there, like all of my game collections are every system of Nintendo, and I like their games the most in terms of overall games. But you'd be shocked at how much hours I did play my PS4, guys. If you go to my PSN profiles on and look at my trophy list, you would be shocked at how many games I have completed on the PlayStation 4. It is quite a large number. And boys, I'll tell you, Death Stranding, that is not an easy platinum. Not an easy one. That was the biggest waste of my life. But I made it through. I got it. So yeah. But I would recommend it. Because I feel like you like the Spaceman Aim as far as your gaming style goes, and you like Nintendo-like games. So I feel like there's a lot of and unless I'm wrong, but I know you play your Switch a bit. I feel like on the PS4 there's like a good number of Nintendo-like games that like anything from Sony Japan Studio was like really good. Like back in the day, like Gravity Rush, Loco Roco. I'm a personal fan of Knack. Like I think the PS4 is worth buying for Knack 1 and 2. Not really Knack 1, but you just play them both just to get the story or whatever. So there's some games like that. Media Molecules, Tearaway. You have to have a PlayStation for that. Like none of those kind of games are on PC or anything. Those are pretty great games if you like platformers and stuff. So um, that I would say, and the good thing is like you can go get them. You can get it cheap off eBay, like you said, and literally all those games you can go to GameStop and pick them all used up for like $9.99 or less. It's crazy how cheap um, the PlayStation games get. They do not hold value to save their life. So it's good for consumers. I also spent quite a bit of time playing when I was like really starting to do indie game development and stuff. Um, and we make all of our living from PlayStation, and like I'm out here testing PlayStation. I'm trying indie games on PlayStation to see how they run. um, so indie games that I have on Switch and stuff, like I have duplicates sometimes on PlayStation. And I played a bunch of Slay the Spire on PlayStation, a bunch of games that are on like Steam and everything else. We played hundreds of hours, a party game, Ultimate Chicken Horse on PlayStation. So we were supporting PlayStation when they were supporting us and helping us stay in business, releasing games. And also, to be honest, we really enjoy the PlayStation community, the PlayStation Trophy Hunter community and stuff. They're super nice to us, and they really like all of our games and stuff. Think they're fun, and it they advertise their games for us and whatnot. So we still like PlayStation, but I just don't really see it in the cards to purchase a PS5 and this current time for me personally. And if you've never played PlayStation games or anything like that, I would suggest, like I said earlier, you can get a lot out of a PS4 for way less price. Get a lot out of it. Yo, Mekan, welcome to the stream. Good to see you, buddy. How are you doing today, good sir? All right, this actually needs to go upside down. We're just talking away. I'm talking away over here while I'm just furiously texturing, getting all these bricks to line up on this new hallway. Still not done with this level, but we will be in just a little bit. Let's go here. Megan says a bit busier than usual, but happy to be here lately. Yeah, glad that you're tuning in. Got some crew here. Thomas was here earlier saying hi. He had to bounce out and go to the mechanic though. But Spaceman Name is here, hanging out. And he says, I used to grab PS2 games from GameStop for $1 to $10 all the time. Would definitely do that again on PS4. Yeah, I mean, if you're economical and you're smart, like this is like the time. This is the time to collect PS4 games. I would go back and show you. Yeah, because I have a couple of them that I'm like, I think are worth it. Like, I still think that there's some PS4 games that have like some pretty good cover art and stuff, and like the case shape is like a little bit different than the other gens and stuff. So it's worth, showing for collectability purposes. They're cheap. It's like the cheapest way you can play the games right now. It's crazy cheap. And if you've missed a whole generation of games, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, I don't know if you want to play like mature games or if you want to play mostly family friendly games like Nintendo and stuff. Because like I could suggest like plenty of family friendly games on PS4 that are like Nintendo esque, but they still have some good like more mature games that are worth playing on PlayStation. Like I don't like a lot of them, depending on like what the games are. Usually don't really play those types of games anymore, but there's a couple on PS4 that would be pretty good. Like like stuff on PS4 like Shadow of the Colossus remake and stuff. That game's not like rated mature, but it's like a darker game or whatever. Kind of more similar to something like a Twilight Princess dark levels. It's like a boss rush. Reminds me of Zelda. You're on the horse and you're killing Colossus and stuff like that. That's probably like a $20 game, but like you could pick up like Shadow of Colossus, Lost Guardian, games like that would just like if you've never played anything like that before, then it's like totally worth picking up. I feel like if you bought a cheap PS4. And as far as like for the games that we like, family friendly, like Tearaway is good, Knack 1 and 2 is good, Loco Roco 1 and 2 remastered, Parappa the Rapper PS1 remastered is on there. Those are all good ones. There's Everybody's Golf, the last Hot Shots golf game, because Sony let that studio go. That game is brilliant. It's really really awesome on PS4. Definitely worth picking up. It's super cheap now. Platinum trophy is unobtainable if you want to get all your achievements. Now that the online is shut down, you can only play local multiplayer and single player. But if you like golf games, like that's probably the best golf game. Like it's so good. So there's plenty of games like that that are totally worth playing. I have like the Spyro trilogy, the Crash trilogy, and Crash 4. That's why I got the hard drive because like I'm determined to 100% Crash 4, even though it's like super hard and like a complete waste of your time. I want to give it a shot though because I just love Spyro and Crash. Um, so those are all family friendly. There is, let's see, what else do I have? Yeah, and then like the only other games I have Monster Hunter World, because like if you don't Monster Hunter World, it's like one of the only Monster Hunters that's not available on Switch and Nintendo platforms. Like typically Monster Hunter, it started off as like a PlayStation franchise, but it didn't end that way. It basically became a Nintendo franchise after Monster Hunter Tri on the Wii. But Monster Hunter World's really, really good. If you haven't played that, if you had a Switch, just play Monster Hunter Rise. Like you don't need to play World. But World is pretty awesome in like a completely different way. Although I think Rise is like it's got I don't know. It's like hard to say because the mechanics and the moving mechanics and stuff are just so much better in Rise. But the graphics are like really awesome in Monster Hunter World, and there's a lot of monsters in it. You get a lot of money for your or a lot of value for your money if you like Monster Hunter. Um, so I have that on PS4, and then basically the only like mature rated games that like I play on PlayStation is the Dark Souls series. Like I have Dark Souls 1 through 3 on PlayStation as well as Bloodborne and I don't have Elden Ring on there, but I think I'm gonna pick it up and just give it a go on PS4 even though it's kind of doesn't really run as good on there, but it'll be fine. I think I'll still be able to beat it. All right, got some comments. Mekan says, speaking of Nintendo, I watched Super Mario Bros. Today. Oh, the movie. He said it was very good. That's cool. Yeah, I enjoyed that in theaters. Me and my wife went and saw it, and it was definitely a fun time. Nice and silly, not too serious. Nothing really wrong with it. It could have been better, but I think overall, like it was better than I was expecting it to be. That's what I'll say. And Space Name says, I'll play whatever the family friendly I could teach my daughter to play. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of like what we're thinking nowadays. But yeah, so there's some good ones on there, and I would say like and like maybe you would like the Gravity Rush stuff. Those are like a little on the anime-ish side, but they're pretty good. I haven't played if you like Japanese games. It was made by Japan Studio. They're like platforming adventure games. I only did like about half of the first game before I got rid of my PS Vita, so I never finished it. But those are pretty cool. Like that, I know that you can't get those, or those are on PlayStation and they'll never be on PC or anything like that. And um, technically speaking, you could play them on PS5 by playing the PS4 versions, but those are PS4 games, and those games are some of the ones that are actually worth money. Because I said you can pick up all the PlayStation 4 games pretty cheaply, but the Gravity Rush games, for some reason, they're kind of rare and they're like highly rated and sought after. So they're like 50, $60. At one point, like during the height of the game craze, they were like $100 almost. So that doesn't really happen too much with PlayStation games. So if you found a physical copy of that, that'd be cool. You'd be lucky. But they do sell that one. They sell those games digitally, pretty cheap all the time. I played like the Star Wars Battlefront games and stuff, like on PlayStation, like when they came out back in the day. I used to like Star Wars more than I do now. But I liked the Battlefront games growing up on PS2, so that was like literally the reason why I bought a PS5 or bought a PS4, excuse me, was for Star Wars Battlefront. That was like literally the reason to play with my friends. And they did not turn out anything. I was like a little shocked, back in the day. They did not turn out to be how the old games were. They were just literally Battlefield games. Guess I could have known that by doing a little bit more research, but I didn't really play any games like that back in the day when they first came out. I didn't play any like multiplayer shooter games or anything like that. So I didn't realize it was basically just going to be Battlefield. But there are some cool Star Wars modes and stuff, and um, you can get the first game for like $3 now. Although the servers are basically dead on like every platform, basically. So not exactly the best pickup. Oh, I guess you said you picked up PS2 games all the time. But another one is like Jack and Daxter on PS2. Like the first game, just unbelievably good. Love Jack and Daxter. That is playable on PS4, like downloadable purchase. They did a limited run, did a collector's thing to where you could get it physically, but like I think that's like highly expensive. Um, but yeah, you can download that one pretty cheap. If you haven't played Jack and Daxter, that is a great one. The sequels aren't that good. They changed the gameplay completely. They like literally Jack and Daxter 2 is like GTA clone. It's like there's a city and it's like right after GTA came out and they're like, "Oh, you can ride in cars now and you can shoot people and Jack is mean and stuff." I'm like, I don't know what they were smoking over at Naughty Dog, but they ruined an awesome franchise. Um, they're okay. I mean, there's some value to be had from them, but it's not like I would let kids play them really, or young kids. I mean, and they're not as fun, and they don't really hold up as well either. Like the gameplay just doesn't really hold up. I don't think. I mean, some people if they grew up playing Jack 2, they might swear by it, but I have to disagree. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. It's like the AI is like so buggy. Like some of the missions that they force you on are like just so bad. And it's like they're not really fun. I replayed them all when I was replaying them on PS4 and I'm like, it's not good. Not good. In my opinion. Let's go with up here. Mm, let's put them back there. Honestly, they look better just right in the middle, to be honest. Let's just leave them there, I guess. But if you haven't played that, probably worth it. I would say like the other like really awesome PlayStation franchise that's like long dead is Sly Cooper. Um, Sly Cooper definitely worth it. The only thing about Sly Cooper is not playable on PlayStation 4. The HD versions are let alone only on the PS3, so highly sad there. That sucks. I wish that they would have done a Sly Cooper like PS4 drop like they did the Jack drops. Because that would have been perfect. That would have just made that worth it basically. Also, like my other like one of my low-key favorite PlayStation franchises, which is also dead. You can see my stain for like modern PlayStation. My favorite, if I had to rank my favorite PlayStation franchises, I would consider Spy. If I consider Spyro and Crash, a PlayStation franchise still, which they're not. It would have been like Spyro and then Crash, or actually it would have been Spyro, then Ape Escape, then probably Crash, then then Jak and Daxter, and then Sly Cooper. But Sly Cooper is better than Jak and Daxter overall because there's like 3 solid Sly Cooper games, and Jak and Daxter only has one really good one. Jak X Racing is fun though for a miscellaneous fun time. Let's get these guys now. This would be scale 1.1, scale 1.2. Let's see if this looks right. It looks a little stretched. I'm thinking that the Y. Nah, it's too small. I think it actually was supposed to be. Nope, it's not rotated. So this is 1. Oh yeah, this is out of 5. That actually is. It's supposed to be just 0.2. That should do it. Yep. It's a little cut off there, but that's probably fine. Yeah, I would say I would. Whoa, do that right. Love Ape Escape to death. There we go. Close enough. So you can play Ape Escape 1 and 2 now on PS4. So that's basically completely worth it. Spaceman Aim says Sly Cooper was one of my top games on PS2. I wish they'd remake it or make a sequel. Yeah, no joke. You're not the only one. Like that's like basically what's like holding me from buying a PS5. Like I know that they put Ratchet and Clank on there, but then they announced Ratchet and Clank is coming to PC. So then like what's the point of buying a PlayStation 5 for just Ratchet and Clank? And Ratchet and Clank is nice and all, but he's definitely one of my least favorite. Like I've played a few of the games and stuff, and I've enjoyed them as far as platforming adventures go. But you know, his games are more about guns and jumping around and using equipment and stuff, and swinging is fun with his like wrenches and stuff. But like I don't really like that. I would rather the character controller himself be more fun. So like it's a little bit on the bottom tier for my franchises. So like if they would make like a brand new Sly Cooper and it was like actually good, or like a brand new Ape Escape or a brand new, whatever. Um, I don't really want them to make Jak and Daxter, especially if Naughty Dog does it, because I don't think that they're the developer that they once were. I just don't think that they're good anymore. Um, that's a controversial statement, I guess. Don't come at me, Naughty Dog fans. But yeah, so I don't, and I also think that Jak and Daxter, if it came back, it would be like too, like punk, like that was like their whole thing. It was like punky and mature and like all that kind of stuff, and like I think like it would just be bad. I think it would be like, I think that like if they came back with Jak and Daxter now, like it wouldn't be good. It would be like cringe. Like the stuff that the developers would put in there would be like cringe. Um, and especially from Naughty Dog, I feel like I don't think it would be that good. I feel like Sly Cooper could come back in a big way. I'm like, I don't understand the Ape Escape thing. I'm like, Ape Escape was perfect on the old systems because like that was like the explanation of how to do the DualShock controller and like all the different features of the DualShock, and the twin sticks was how Ape Escape was played basically. And I don't understand why that with all the new features on PS5, I mean, like, it would be just absolutely brilliant. Just brilliant to have like a new Ape Escape 4 or whatever. They should have already made one, so it could have been Ape Escape 5 on PS5. And the Team Asobi guys could literally do it. The remainder of Japan Studio. But you know, if they came out with like a new 3D platforming, like a whole standalone game adventure for Astrobot, I think I'd be down for that. And like maybe that would be something I could do. Like I would buy a PS5 for. Because then I'm like, well, all right, well, there's the pack-in game, and then there's the new game, so they're obviously supporting it and stuff. Um, yeah, that would be cool. I'm like, all right, well, they have a platformer basically at that point, but the storytelling, the voice acting, you know, everything Sly Cooper was, the animation, the art style. It was crazy good. Like even playing it on PS2, like or like if you play it on PS2 now, it's like it's still crazy good. It just holds up. It's fun. Fun games. They don't really make stuff like that now. It's all just to-do lists. We're not going to finish this level either, guys. Once again, you can't make levels like this and think they're going to go really fast. This is the I'll tell you, this is going to be the longest level in the game probably to texture, just because this is got so many off-scale parts. Even if we make a bigger maze, which we will, I'm not going to do this again for another level to where we're having to seal things up. And you know, there's like a 1 scale, a 2 scale, a 3 scale, a 4 scale. Everything needs to be able to scale on the right size so we can just tile our textures faster. Because we designed the level pretty quickly. We really did. But literally, we're spending a whole hour on just texturing this hallway and we're not done yet. I mean, we're almost done and it looks cool and it looks good. And then when you guys are going to get to play it in the game, it's going to be crazy awesome. It's going to be crazy awesome. So it's worth it. But this is definitely slow going. And we're on a deadline. Although there might be something that Sony helps us out with. And if they do, we might push the development of this game back a little bit just because of the extra revenue that might come in. But can't really say anything on that front just yet. We have to see. We gotta see, guys. And we got some comments here. Space My Name says, "What did you think of Spyro New Beginning? I'm curious." I never finished it. I hated it, but I played Spyro New Beginning on the Wii. So not only was it, you know, completely different, it also had waggle controls, and I don't say waggle controls as a derogatory term because I actually prefer a lot of the games on Wii with motion controls. But I don't think the third parties really took advantage of them in the correct sense. So yeah, I didn't think they were done very well. You were just shaking it around. It's very weird. I was like kind of heartbroken. I was like, what is this? Because, you know, I was like young. Okay, I was pretty young. When I didn't understand like I didn't know anything about the games industry. I wasn't on the computer. You know, I wasn't like going on to IGN or whatever, the only sites you had back in the day. Um, like I was a kid who played Spyro 1 through 3 on PS1, and I was like 5 and 6, guys. I mean, I was like so young. I mean, I was born in the early 90s, but still, like by the time those games were coming out, like I was still a little kid. And I didn't understand when PS2 came out, we got a PS2, and we got Spyro 4, or what you would consider to be Spyro 4 in the series, Enter the Dragonfly. I just did not understand why, like at that point as a kid, you don't have the words. Like you just don't know why it's not as fun. You just know it's not as fun. You know it's not as good, and you just don't know why. And then you don't know why, like all of a sudden, like as a kid, I did not know why, I could play it on my GameCube and not just the PlayStation. I had no idea, nothing. I didn't know any of that kind of stuff. So we went from Spyro Enter the Dragonfly, and I played through that whole game, as a younger kid, and like it was weird. That game looks so bad now. It's like probably one of the worst ones. But then you go after that, you go to Spyro New Beginning where they redo him, and it's like Elijah Wood voice acting him, and it's like an RPG adventure, and you're just busting crystals for like health and like power ups and stuff, but it has nothing to do with collecting the gems. It's no longer a collectathon. I remember just like playing through that and not understanding what was happening. Um, Whoa, that scared me. I was like, okay, so the PlayStation, I just saw out of the corner of my eye, the PlayStation is off now. But I'm like, all right, it didn't trip out. It just went into rest mode. So I think we're still good. I think the PS4 is still good. I just realized the tilting tiles subtle background is gone now. So yeah, I didn't really like that. I played through most of that game when I was real young. I can't really remember it, but I did not like it. I did play after that. I think it was actually, I don't know if it was after that. I think it was before the New Beginning series was Spyro, A Hero's Tale. And that was another one where like I played it as a kid and did not understand why the game was different. I just knew that it was different. Um, and that was like more similar to the beginning, but like it had like, you could play as all the different characters, which made sense because you could play as the different characters, you know, in the old Spyro games in Spyro 3. But then the levels felt like completely different. Everything was like really, it was like a different game. The crystals and stuff were different again. Did not understand that. And I liked it as a kid. Like I remember thinking like, oh, Spyro is still cool and this is still cool, but I did not understand like what was happening. And then I hated the new beginning stuff. And then what did they do after that? After that, he became Skylanders, and like I wasn't. I was like Spyro's dead, like it was long dead. And it's like a dream come true for the Reignited to actually be a real thing. Like we would always talk about that, but like never believe like something like that would ever happen, you know? And it just took a little bit of Activision money, I guess, to make it happen. And I also don't like that. I don't think it's that good. It's not as nearly as good as the originals. I was like severely let down. But it's still fun. I played through it all the way. I got 100% again in all the games. I just don't think they're as good as the originals. They don't capture the magic. A lot of the magic is gone. And Mekan says, "What is the deadline again?" I I was actually hoping to be done in 1 week from today, so good luck with that one, guys. I don't think that's happening. I said last week that I believed I could do it, and Thomas said he believed I could do it because I was crushing through levels. At that point, we were doing like a level a day, and now on this one, it's been like 4 days, and we're still on this level. 5 days, 2 days on the weekend, Monday, and I think we did it 2 days, Thursday and Friday. Yeah, like five or 6 days so far on this one, probably. This level's got to get done. It's going crazy long. But that's also not just not time wise. Like I also like hadn't been able to work as much. A bunch of random things have come up and out and about on all around. So we got 40 more minutes on stream or so. So we will see how far we are. As soon as I can get around to all these corners and then seal this roof, we're going to make this hallway and we're going to make it straight. It's going to go all the way here and then just right there. So they're all going to be on the grid except for the one corner. And then we're going to blow through that texturing in like 2 seconds. And then we're going to make the walkways to all of these. And then we're going to texture these insides. And then we're going to run around and get these as fast as humanly possible. I think they're already seamed, so I think we're good there. I think we'll like We'll see. We'll see. We got 40 minutes, 5 o'clock. Maybe we'll go to 5:15 today. We'll see. Maybe not. Maybe actually. So maybe close to almost an hour left. Um, we'll be done, and then it'll be like rendered and looking good, I guess. But I feel like today I got a little bit of energy going on here, and I feel like I've been able to talk randomly all of my thoughts and feelings about PlayStation like continuously without slowing down. Like I'm still texturing quickly. So I think that that's good at least. Not as many questions coming in the chat today, so I'm like, oh well, I'll just talk. I'll just talk about whatever I want to talk about because it's crazy. The stats on these videos is like I really think there's a lot of people who really just tune in and watch them afterwards, and not just the giveaway streams. I know people tune in afterwards when we do giveaways and stuff, in order to see if anyone claimed the code, because one of our fans, our friends over at the channel in the Discord, let us know that she claimed the code on Friday's stream, but she wasn't able to watch live. So there are people who are tuning in afterwards, so that's really cool. So I don't want to sit and be silent and just nonchalant be clicking on my computer, because that's not exactly entertaining when you want to go back and watch it later. So I'm trying to either narrate what I'm doing, or I'm going to give you a spiel on my on my thoughts and about the PlayStation is what you're getting here. Oh yeah, that's why that's off. I guess though, if Spaceman Aim, if you do get a PlayStation, we can play something online, maybe. Although most of the games I have, the servers are all shut down. So maybe not. I don't know what a quintessential like PlayStation online experience is anymore. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Spaceman Name says, not trying to distract you too much, but cool to hear your opinions. And Metgan says, I mean, I'm working on my game, so I can't participate much. Oh, yeah, it's fine, guys. I don't have to have the chat questions, but I do love answering them. We have some good conversations sometimes, especially all of our dev chats. Get the varying perspectives, especially when Thomas is in here. Because we got, Metgan, he's a, I would say, and let's use our TreeFall Studios guys. He's our budding game developer. He's got a few game releases under his belt. Got more to come. He's working on it. He's on a couple platforms, so he's really getting there. Space by Name, same deal. He's got a couple of Steam drops. One is a free-to-play game. You should check out his game. And then one of them is a game for purchase, a much larger game. And he has that on Steam. So if you guys are in the chat interested, you can check out both of their games. Metcan has games on Steam and on the Atari VCS. And Thomas, our other friend, he has no games. His games are in progress. He is really budding. He's getting ready to launch his first major commercial release, and he's going to be launching on PlayStation, and he's going to be launching on Steam. I don't know if you know this, Mecan, but he was also denied by Nintendo, so don't worry. He's also part of the club, my friend. Where did that go? There we go. The Y is 250. That's not right. Yeah, so some of those game development chats, definitely good stuff. And I know we got some other developers who tune in sometimes. I guess I can shout out the Basement Dweller. He's been in a few streams. He has a game that's getting ready to launch on Steam as well. A lot of Steam devs out there trying to get. I need to get Space by Name on the PlayStation vibe so he can release a game on PlayStation. I like his first game. It's like a space exploration mining experience, RPG like elements going on. It's crazy the amount of coding he's got going on in that game, especially the way he built it. It's crazy. Space Name says, if I get a PlayStation, it'd be 50% your games. I really want to play Bitterpot. PLP. We hadn't seen him in the chat in a little while. It's been sad without our #1 TreeFall fan, soon to be junior marketing director. Yeah, he's been a little busy. But he says the same thing all the time in the Discord that he has a PS5 just for TreeFall Studios games. So I'm like, that's flattering. And also, there's not too many exclusive games on PlayStation anymore. So some of my games that are exclusive, I'm like, hey, there you go. There's your exclusive PlayStation game. It's made just for you guys. So yeah, there are at this point whoa, look at that. At this point we have all right, let's think about the TreeFall Studios catalog. As far as exclusives to PlayStation goes, we have Pitterpot. We'll go with like complete exclusives first, and then we'll go with like semi-exclusives. So Pitterpot is a complete exclusive. So is Tilting Tiles Ultimate Tilt Remix, Tilting Tiles Micro Challenge. Currently, Night Detective, Decrepit Manor is only PlayStation, and so that's 4. What else do we have on PlayStation? That might be it of the complete exclusive TreeFall Studios titles on PlayStation. And then what I mean by partial exclusives is stuff like the Gem Collector and Annihilation. Those games were Wii U games, but they got like remastered versions that have like completely different features, new levels, new modes, new quality of life features, sometimes new graphics and stuff in the PlayStation versions only, and those two are not also available on Steam. The same treatment can be said for the Perplexing Orb 1. That game launched on Wii U, but the PS4 version got like graphics upgrades, new levels, new quality of life changes, and stuff like that. And that game is available on Steam. So there are a couple of games that like got that PS4 upgrade, that got Steam upgrades, but there are a few that didn't. Like the Gem Collector got upgrades from Wii U and it's only on PlayStation. Annihilation got upgrades, it's only on PlayStation. And I think that those might be it. So that's like 4. I think that was like 4 total exclusives at this point, like 2 semi-exclusives maybe. I could be missing something else. I don't know. Megan says, I believe Nintendo saves us for the next Switch, and they won't accept those asset flipper scammers next time. I hope so. I agree. I agree. I hope so. I think Nintendo has learned a lesson with how that they've managed their Switch applications. It's not very good. And I'm wanting to say that their program for development is going to be different next time because they're going to be a little bit more prepared for the influx of interest because they know that their next system, whatever it is, it's going to have a ton of interest involved. A lot of people are really going to be looking forward to developing for it because the Switch was just so big. And I think for a while, I got some for a while, I think it was Thomas. He was hitting me up in the Discord. He gotta pop back in the stream, dog. But I think for a while that they are going to do the same thing that they did with Switch One, where they're only going to let like really trusted partners on there, and I think that they're even going to deny like big time indies. I think they'll do the exact same thing, and I think it'll be a little bit because like when they're first building up a library, like I feel like they're pretty good about like making sure that they're really getting quality releases and stuff um, on Nintendo. And yeah, I think it's going to be a sad day. It's going to be a wasteland again to be trying to get in. But look, guys, I got a couple more tricks up my sleeves. I've done a little bit more reaching out. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to get into the Switch one way or another, no matter what it takes. Let's flip that back to the other side. And maybe I'll bring you guys along with me for the ride. We'll see. My last pitch, I was shocked. I was shocked that it got turned down, but I got a couple more ideas. I got a couple more things I want to try. And then we'll give it another go, and we'll keep you guys updated on the channel. I'll let you know what works, what doesn't work. And then yeah, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Megan says, I was just being optimistic. Yeah, but I think I know you're being optimistic and stuff, but I honestly think that you're on to something a little bit just because I think that honestly Nintendo can't do the same thing because like they have too much, like they're a smaller company, like Valve has so many employees and they don't check your games. They don't quality check at Valve. They do. They just make sure it works just a little bit. But it's not the same like because they've had Steam like for so many years where like so many games will release on Steam, you know, per day and stuff. So they're kind of used to it. And like I don't really think like Nintendo was like trying to stop the flow of games because they don't let anyone become publishers. But the few people that they did let become publishers basically publish like every game under the sun on there. All these flips, these trash, this garbage, you know, random games that aren't even games, you know, just all sorts of stuff. And I don't think Nintendo really likes that. I mean, I guess maybe if it's making a lot of money, sure, maybe they do. But I would have to guess, like this is my guess, that that's probably costing them a lot of money. And I think that they're going to just wrap that down and like really like I wouldn't be surprised if they really locked down on the next eShop and they did something more like Microsoft where they're like judging per game because right now they're judging per studio and they're like they judge your studio really really hard to try to make sure you're legit. So you're not publishing a bunch of trashy games on there and stuff. But I don't know. Some of those people had to know people and stuff in order to get, you know, on there, basically, in my opinion. I'm like, you had to know somebody. Something went down. I'm like, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, it really doesn't. For some of these studios and some of these games that are just on there, they're just like really 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 bad. Let's go ahead and just get rid of all of these. And I think that they're gonna slow it down because I think overall that costs them a lot of money. That would be my guess. But I could be wrong because maybe the Switch is full of users who buy all these kind of junky games. That's why they keep making them. Because, like, I just don't get... I mean, I guess, like, why wouldn't you do it on Switch? Like, it makes sense on Steam why you would give up. Like, if you kept releasing junky games and, like, no one was buying them. Like, the whole reason Steam charges you $100 per game release is because if you're making a bunch of junky games that no one is buying, like asset flips and stuff, well, like you're not going to keep doing that because it's going to cost. You'll just run yourself out of money because it's going to keep costing you $100 every time. Well, you're not going to do that. You know what I mean? So that's the whole reason Valve does that. But Nintendo doesn't have that. You know what I mean? So little, just interesting. I'm not really sure. Okay. Let's go ahead and go here. And let's go ahead and let's gotta merge these. So I'm thinking that, oh man, this sucks. Is that on the line? We're looking at X19. Well, it's lined up. For some reason it doesn't want to, after we get around this curve, maybe if we do it like this. Ah, the auto tools are not going to work for us today. This is going to take longer than we thought it would. But in my opinion, I'm like, they got to be losing money on some of that stuff. Although, like, I mean, there has to be, if those developers keep doing it over and over and over, they got to be making some money, I guess. Space My Name says a game on the Switch would be a dream come true. I've always wanted to make a game that people can play on the go. Well, can't they play your game on the go on the Steam Deck right now? Unless your game isn't optimized for deck, because you know maybe yours would take some extra doing since you weren't done in a game engine. That's like another thing about Unity. When you do Unity, it basically when you build for Windows on there, it just works on the deck. You might have to change a couple things, but it's like pretty good. McCann says, I can tell this much about the Switch. Every game with zero marketing sells between 200 and 1,000 copies. Space says, true, I forgot about Steam Deck. And McCann says, trustworthy inside information. If that's true, then the Switch magic is crazy. Because, like, if you were selling, if you're just releasing a game with zero marketing whatsoever, and you are pulling off 1,000 copies, that's like $5,000 a game. Like if you're charging these $5 games, and that's like zero, if that's zero marketing, and if that's like including, I'm not talking about good games. I'm not talking about like me making Maze and putting it out for $5 and then like marketing Maze. If that's what these asset flips are doing and like these visual novels and all that kind of stuff, they're selling minimum of that without even trying, and they're just releasing like every week. Well, yeah, no wonder. No wonder the shop is full of garbage. Because that's not Nintendo's fault. That's now the consumer's fault. Because that means that people are actively buying all that, supporting it. And you're going to keep getting more of what you pay for. That's for sure. So, not that I am one to think that gatekeeping a platform is good or bad. Because I'm like, well, I would like to be on the platform. I would like their standards to be. I mean, if their standards were even looser than what they are now, it'd be crazy because like plenty of people like me can't even get in. And I'm like, well, we have good games, and we market hard and we sell, a lot on other systems, and we have game development knowledge. It's not like we're beginners. We have games on PlayStation and been approved by Xbox, games on Steam, all this kind of stuff. So it's crazy. If their standards were looser, they would literally never, guys, never, ever, ever be able to keep up with the amount of games that they have to check to get on the store. Like that's probably why they keep denying people, is because literally they probably can't even handle the influx of like how many more games that would have to go through certification, and like all their staff members and junk would be like wasting their time doing all that stuff. So crazy stuff. Look at Metgan coming in the stream hot with some insider information. That's crazy. Yeah, I won't even confirm, deny, repeat, or even nod or wink at that sales figure statement in regards to how it compares with Wii U. But I will say that Wii U had a certain threshold as well, to where you would sell at least a certain amount to just random people that would just try your game or whatever. But Wii U lost that very quickly, and you basically did have to market your games. I feel like Switch, you don't have to do as much just because literally so many people have Switches and stuff. Metcan coming in with the smiles. Oh. Metcan says, I wish we could hear some PlayStation 2. You know, honestly, I don't really think PlayStation has that floor anymore. I felt like it did, and that you would sell a certain amount every single time. I can't really talk about sales figures, obviously, you know, because I'm still actively working with PlayStation, and we're not breaking no NDA, and we haven't hit the threshold to talk about our sales. We're actually close. I'm pretty sure we're pretty close, actually, on the threshold to talk about our sales numbers. But I don't actually know if it's total cumulative releases sales numbers, or like a specific game has to cross that threshold by itself. I don't know. But yeah. Oh god, I'm getting tired now. Can't really talk about it, but I can say that I felt like in the beginning, it felt like, oh, once I got past like the pitter pot stage, um, once you get past the pitter pot stage, like I was thinking that you could sell a certain amount on PlayStation, but now I don't think so. Let's actually put it here. Because Pitter Pot sold really bad, and like I was like, when I first started, when I was first starting, I was like, oh, there's gonna be a floor um on this, just like Wii U and stuff. And I was like, well, the floor is nothing, because like I wasn't really selling anything on Pitter Pot, and I was thinking this is, you know, not good. Whoa. This needs to be 0.1. Or is that actually 0.2? Yeah. But once we found the groove and really were figuring out what we were doing on PlayStation, it felt like we were getting a certain amount of numbers per game sale, but not really anymore, because now I've noticed those numbers have fallen off like so much. And really they're all up in the air. All of our recent numbers have not been that good. You know, like Mighty Math was weak, Tilting Tiles Ultimate Tilt Remix was weak. All of our worst selling PlayStation games are like recent games. And then Micro Challenge is also weak overall. Uh huh. I'm glad I got that out. Excuse me. Not in terms of sales. I mean, it's actually like getting close. Like it's not our highest seller ever, but like in terms of time, like it's the fastest we've sold copies. So like we sold copies of Micro Challenge, but just not enough. So all of our recent stuff on PlayStation has been looking less promising. And I don't know if that's due to the economy factors, or due to the PlayStation environment wrapping down, and like most people are getting rid of PS4s and playing PS5 instead. Although that also doesn't hold too much water, because, like I said, I've noticed most people on my friends list and stuff are there's a lot of people still on PS4, and you can play your PS4 games on PS5, and they show up on the store so people can see our games. So technically speaking, like we should be selling more now than we ever have been, just because we have the active PlayStation 4 audience, and we have the active PlayStation 5 audience. But that's not really the case. We have to work very hard to sell stuff now. So I'm thinking that I'm thinking I don't know. I'm thinking that this maze game will swing the pendulum around, because we got a lot of good comments already. Like a lot of people really like maze from back in the day, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm thinking it's gonna be pretty good, because when this game is all said and done, it's gonna be like the other maze games, but even better. And it's pretty generalized audience, puzzle fans. Let's just swing that back around. Yeah, there we go. So I wanted to have the trailer done for you guys today, but let's shoot for Wednesday, because this is gonna take so long. This single level. Yeah, we'll shoot for Wednesday. McCann says, "What do you mean?" Yeah, there is. So there is some threshold. It's like in the hundreds of thousands of units. So basically, I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's basically like if you're not AAA, like if you're not someone like Call of Duty, they don't want you talking about your sales figures. That's basically what it boils down to. Something along those lines. I don't remember what it is exactly, or what the rules are exactly. I don't remember. But there's some rule where basically if you're a AAA developer, that's why AAA developers post their sales and stuff. They're allowed to talk about it, but no one else is, basically. So until I've got AAA sales, I basically can't talk about the numbers. But yeah, and then he says, painful to listen to. Wish the NDA wouldn't restrict you. I mean, not to be a sticky guy, but we might have to push the boundaries if you would give a shot to Doodle Taxi. Yeah, honestly, man, I don't know. If I decide to continue doing the publishing business, if I can pick up like I haven't decided. I haven't decided if I'm going to continue, because I'm like, it's a whole lot of time. It's a whole lot of effort. And it's really not that much money for either party once you get the splits. So I just don't know if it's like completely worth it. I think that if I decide to continue the publishing business, it's got to be at a time where like I got to have like 3 games or so, like 3 or 4 projects, like that are all completely different, all lined up and all done, that I can do all at once, so I can kind of batch them and stuff. And then maybe, from like multiple different developers and whatnot, and then like maybe then the publishing gig would still be worth it. And honestly, at that point, it's like I'm just doing it just to be helpful, because it doesn't really help me. It kind of slows me down, because like in the time that it would take me to publish and set up someone else's game, it I could kind of get my own game out instead, and make the money myself. Um, so yeah. I'm thinking about it though. Like if I can line up a few different things, like maybe I can get a game published. Maybe I'll publish a couple. We'll see. But I might just wrap it down, because it's like a little too much. It's a little too much for me to keep up with. Because like the most annoying part about the publishing side of things is like, especially when everyone's ready to get paid, um, just the way the sales reports go. I mean, it takes like an entire business day or more just for me to go through and figure out how much games were actually sold. And they're all like split up. Like the region tracking and stuff is so hard. It's hard to figure out and stuff. So it's like, to make sure that everyone is paid legitimately and gets all the money that they need. It wastes like an entire development day for me, basically. Um, so it's like, it's more work, and that's like every single month. It's like one day out of every month just like gone. that I wouldn't normally have to do. And then, you know, like just the store page alone, you know, like I was telling you when we were chatting before, like that alone is like a couple business days and setting it all up. And the whole process is like at least a month or two, a couple months. So it's not like fast. So there's definitely like a lot of time involved and a lot of money involved. And it's like, you know, depending on your situation, like maybe that would be good money or like 100%, it's like it would be more money than you're making on Steam probably for sure. But like, is it worth like the time and effort to do it? Probably not. It's like you would probably make more money yourself, you know, too. It's like if you would do it yourself. I mean, it's like it's good. I mean, it could be a help, like, you know, like when you can't acquire the dev kits and stuff, it's like it can help you get to that point. But, you know, it's just like Thomas, you know, he's gone after the dev kits himself. It's like, you know, you'll make more money if you do it yourself than, you know, having to split it with a publisher. And that's like someone who, like me being a publisher, like I make money from that, but I'm like, it's probably not worth it. I'm like, it might be. It could be in some situations, but in most, I'm like, I haven't decided. I haven't decided. We'll see. Maybe I'll go down that route again. But I think it's a little easier just to do dev yourself. You know, like, don't worry about publishing and just do the games. Make the games. Let's see. No. Well, I don't know. It all depends. I can't really say per se that if you like that's like you can't real I mean, you can look at the market research and you can say, okay, well, these games sell, you know, X amount. Whoa, but you can't just like look at it and assume that you're gonna be able to make an X amount per month because like if you really like, you know, I can't share any kind of financial insights with you unless you're you know, if you were already, you know, registered a PlayStation developer or you know, are working with us to get a game published or whatever. um but you can't just assume like, you know, like how you're saying with Atari that there's a certain amount of people in the community that will support your game like almost every time, or you know that there's people on the Switch and you sell a certain number of copies every time. I don't really think that can be said for PlayStation like at all. And like the people on PlayStation, like they're buying the games that are actually good and stuff, and it's like, I mean, some people buy trophy hunting games where they're just playing like a small game just to trophy hunt, but that doesn't really work anymore. That like is kind of dead because those people abuse the trophy system. That dude from whatever country, he incorporated a bunch of companies and was releasing trophy hunting games like 3 times a week or whatever. Sony basically banned all that junk, and it doesn't really, one, they don't really allow those types of games on the store anymore. They kind of ban them. And then two, um, people don't really buy those anymore. Like it broke the trophy hunting community where like a lot of people don't really like those easy games, and like you obviously need to have a good game. You need to have a game that um like is worth it. Like that's worth the trophy hunt for, instead of just like making it easy and stuff. People don't really like the easy stuff anymore. So you can't even like assume that that whole community is going to buy it. And I've learned over the time period of selling stuff on PlayStation that the I'm just going to do it this way. Yeah. The trophy hunting community is also completely randomized. Like just because like everyone buys Maze and stuff doesn't mean that they're gonna buy the Perplexing Orb. And well, that's not a good example because like everyone buys the Perplexing Orb. That's one of my most popular ones. But let's say Annihilation or something. That doesn't mean that they're all gonna buy that game, randomly. Like or my obscure ones or Pitter Pot. You would think that Pitter Pot would do really good, but it didn't really sell too much. So you just never know. You don't know what's going to sell on the platform. You have to do your research and kind of figure out what games are selling, look at what the most active games are, what people are playing, and all that kind of stuff, and try to figure out what to sell on there. Obviously, the most active games on PlayStation are literally like shooter games. The most active um, games like currently that are making all the money is literally Fortnite and Call of Duty and Apex Legends. Like that's what people play on PlayStation mostly. And then there are people who will play just random small stuff, indie games. So you have to kind of do your research. But you're not guaranteed to sell anything for every single time. You're not guaranteed to have every product be successful. And there's only a certain amount of lifespan that each game is going to have. So, you basically have to have your next game ready. Like that's why when we're making games, it's you release a game, you might be able to if the game sells really well, you might be able to go ahead and take your week of vacation or something. Um, but you pretty much need to get back on it to be getting ready for the next game as soon as possible. You can't just assume that game is going to keep selling because they don't just keep selling indefinitely. You'll reach a market cap when everyone who's wanted to buy your game has bought your game, and then you got to have a new game ready to be seen and played by your audience. I just feel like I've seen so much over the years with all of my games. There's completely varying audiences. Like some of the audiences that buy some of my games have never played. There's like some TreeFall fans that buy like all of my games that are like TreeFall Studios fans. They're a fan of our studio and they will buy our games. But that is not really the case for like the PlayStation sales. Like most of the time people are buying the games based on, if they think that game is fun or not. And like multiplayer games are good, like, the multiplayer and the Perplexing Orb and even Maze and all that kind of stuff. Like people like that kind of stuff, so they buy it and they play it. But when I do a weird experiment game like Mighty Math, or whatever, um, you're not really guaranteed to sell anything. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. So I wouldn't, like I talk about it all the time on the channel. Like I convince people or, I tell people, hey, you should be making games for consoles. PlayStation is a great place to start, but that doesn't mean that you're going to, just because you do that doesn't mean you're going to be successful, basically. You know what I mean? So you still gotta learn how to market and find the audience and stuff like that, and um, make something fun that PlayStation would want to support. Because I feel like some of the most money we've ever made on PlayStation has been when Sony was behind our games, when they thought that they were good and wanted to advertise it basically because for instance, like one year in like 2019 or 2020, I think it's probably 2019. Yeah, 2019. Like we made a bunch of money that year because like they decided to feature the Perplexing Orb. Like the Perplexing Orb was selling pretty good, and they decided to feature it on the front page of one of their sales. And it was like literally the number three, like it was the third one. So like anybody who clicked on the sale would see it, and like we made plenty of money then. But yeah, you're not really going to get those kind of features, or you're not really going to get that kind of exposure unless you're making something that's something that PlayStation would be interested in supporting and stuff like that. Megan said it would be better if I find a 9 to 5 job then and dive into PS Adventure then. Yeah, probably. I mean, because that the whole definition of indie game development is sacrifice, and like people really want it to be like the dream and stuff. But it really, like I was telling Thomas, because we had like a pretty long conversation about it, because he's choosing the path of sacrifice, and you can take that path, and it's definitely fun. It's what I'm doing, but there's plenty of jobs that I could take right now that would pay me way more money. So it's not really about the money. You don't really get into the games for the money. It's more about fun and freedom are the two big things. Freedom of job schedule and of fun and fulfillment of making joyful experiences that other people can play and enjoy, and making something that is special that you can be proud of. That's part of the indie game development dream, I think. But you can do it. You can make a living, but like you mentioned, you will most likely be making more if you find a job. And people don't really think about all the business expense sacrifices that you have to do as a business owner. You don't just make games for fun and then you know just get to tell you don't get to call Microsoft and PlayStation and Nintendo and say, hey, I'm just doing this for fun, and I haven't really thought through anything, and I don't have my business bank account, and I don't have an incorporated company, and I don't have an accountant and a lawyer and all this kind of stuff. um and there's a lot of stuff you have to do, and you have to figure out, and you have to manage, if you're going to do the business. And people don't really think about that ever. But if it's what you actually want to do, it's your dream, you want to do it, then it can be done. And that's what I talk about on my channel. I say it can be done. I think it's personally worth it, but each person has to decide if it's worth it for them or not. Because it's definitely a tough gig. And it's also emotionally tough. People on Twitter talk about this a lot because usually artists, you feel, you're emotionally attached to your project, to your art, to your game, etc. And watching people rip it to shreds is definitely an emotionally draining experience, especially after you spent years working on it, or half a year, or however long you spent. So it definitely is tough mentally, it's tough emotionally. There's a lot of things you have to figure out, and you don't really make that much money. But we have an awesome hallway here, and players are going to love this level, dude. This is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. All right, let's go here. Let's make this last hallway. It's 5:04. We're not even close to finishing. Not even close, guys. I would like to say, hey, it'll be done tomorrow, which is what I've said about every stream we've worked on this level, guys. But I really think that this time it will be done tomorrow because we're really close. But we'll see. Mekan says, I just don't expect to be rich over it or an easier life. I'm just worried about importing the PlayStation dev kit, starting an LLC, etc. will drain me. Like I would have to spend money already I don't have before I start. Well, yeah, oh yeah, that's right. I was gonna say you could look into that loaner kit, that loaner thing that Thomas sent over, but you said that they didn't have it in your country, right? Because I was gonna say that could be a good way to get in for a cheaper price. Yeah, because that's basically the problem. Like that's how they they weed people out because what they're trying to do is they're trying to make sure that you're established and that you have like business revenue and that you have like a growing business that is already um you know, making a lot of money before they let you in on the platform. Basically, is what they're trying to do. Um, yeah, so it can be tough. It can be tough. How's your new development coming along for Steam? I would probably you don't have another game in the works after that one, do you? Yeah, this straight hallway is going to be so much easier, guys. This will be done in a flash because let's just go ahead and do this whole side and then we'll just do, actually no, it needs to be this one. Let's go here, guys. Space My Name says, I'll probably make a few more games before I go full time. I want to make sure I have the ability to release games at a steady pace first. And Metgan says, nearly done, but well, depressive wish list stats 171 currently and gaining 3 to 4 organically per day. That's not too bad. I mean, 3 to 4 per day. I mean, obviously, and he says, I have an idea, but just an idea. I have like 20 days after this one, or next month I'll starve. Jeez, yeah, that's cutting it close. You're starting to sound like me a little bit, where we're like, well, this game has to be done in 7 days, whether we like it or not. Um, yeah, I was asking about the other if you had another project ready in the works because I was gonna see if you had something lined up for Atari to see how that was going. Um, because I feel like right now you could just keep busting out games for them, and that would probably get you more revenue than the Steam stuff, just for the time being. Let's see. Let's cut this one here too. And that's a good idea. Also, Space by Name, I forgot to mention. Yeah, the only reason why we are full time is because we have so many games. Like, it really does make a difference when you have multiple games, especially if one doesn't do, like I said already in the stream a bunch of different times, just because one comes out and doesn't do as well as the others doesn't mean that it wasn't worth the time, and like it still makes money over time. And then like the more of those games that you have in your back catalog, the more you can be invited to discount sales and the more you can rotate in and out. Because if you guys know, like even just having more games on Steam helps, because like we'll go with Steam stuff. It's all public knowledge. Actually, I don't know if it is. Their cooldown periods might be NDA, to be honest. Although Steam allows you to talk about a lot of stuff, but I think there's public knowledge that like you can only do on platforms. You can only do discounts so often, and then you have to wait it out where the games are on a cooling off period, cool down period, reset period, whatever you want to call it, before you can put, the game on sale again. Okay, guys. So, like, if you have 10 games, you can always have, you can do like 2 games on sale this month, 2 games on sale this month, 2 games on sale this month, 2 games on sale the next month. All right, we'll just go with two, 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 and two. And let's say you have 8 games. That's 4 months. So that means every like, that's not a quarter. A quarter is only 3 months. So 1/3 of the year or whatever, you would have like different games on sale, and then the next 4 months you would just refresh and start over. So you wouldn't be exhausting discounts. That would mean that each game you have is only on sale one week, like one time, like every 4 months. So you would still be getting games. You would still be getting sales at full price, because when people want your games, like you're not on discount all the time, so they're not just expecting the discount. They're not just waiting for you, to put the game on discount. It's only on sale like once every 4 months. So you're not like overblowing your discounts, but you have like enough games to where you'll have at least some discount driven revenue like every single month. And that's like really, really a game changer, because once, like, I can just tell you based on, my experience, once your game gets to a certain length, the organic sale time of each game can be different based on platforms and stuff. Is that the right scale? Yeah, I think it is. Um, it'd be different. Like how long your game can sell organically on Steam is different than PlayStation. I feel like PlayStation is better organically, um, unless you're new and trending on Steam, obviously. Then that's probably way better. I've never been new and trending yet, so like I don't actually know. But like if you're not new and trending on Steam, your organic Steam sales are going to last about 3 hours, and then it's going to be buried and gone. And it's all up to your marketing skills to sell the game at that point. Um, so on PlayStation, you'll have a little bit longer than that, but at a certain point, like when you release a game, you make a lot of money when the game comes out. But then after that, the only time you're ever making money is if it's been featured in a sale and people can get it on sale. Because the people who didn't buy it at launch, they're not going to buy it later. They're only going to buy it when it's on sale or whatever. It's been featured on a deal, something like that. So Space My Name's idea, you're on the right track. The more games that you have, the more you can do extra revenue. Games on sale revenue can be featured in, discounts and all the like of all that kind of stuff. So super super helpful to becoming full time, to get a couple games under your belt and be driving in revenue that way. But that being said, quantity is not the winner when it comes to revenue. Quality still matters a lot. So you have to learn how to balance out quality and quantity at the same time. You can't spend all your time going to super, super high levels of quality, because then you'll waste all your time, put all your eggs in one basket, and then if your game fails, you're in trouble. But you can't go on the other spectrum where you're like, all right, I'm gonna release a game every week and they're just broken and buggy and just terrible. That's not gonna help you do anything, and that's not gonna help you get anywhere. No one's gonna buy those games whatsoever. So you have to find that balance where you're making good games, original games, um, fun games, but they're semi smaller. They're kind of like what I do is make a smaller game that's fun, that people that I can make in a quicker time, so I can sell more often, but still give a good game experience for those who wish to purchase and play those games. That's kind of my strategy and my plan, and it's been working out so far. Although I think we are going to change it up eventually, and I would really like to sit down and just work on a longer game where I'm like, this is the only game I'm releasing this year. Because right now we try to do like 4 games a year. Because if you can basically do at least like 4 games a year, like one a quarter, you don't have to. 3 would be nice. Minimum of like 2 for sure. But if you can do at least that many, and you're like multi-platting launching and you're going on Steam and PlayStation and Xbox or whatever, wherever you can go, then you're most likely gonna, as long as the games are good, you're most likely gonna succeed and it'll work out for you. And you can live on it full time if you make good financial decisions. If you're laden with a bunch of debts, and you're already in the hole personally a bunch, and then you try to take out business debt and you think you're going to make a bunch of money, then you're probably going to go bust. Not going to lie. Um, but as long as you're like frugal and you're smart financially, yeah, you can probably do just fine if you do a couple games a year. Can't get that to work. There we go. I can see some comments coming in. I'm gonna just get these corners, and then I'm gonna see what you guys are thinking about all that. I didn't seam this up. I'm just like going too fast now. I'm like, let's get these hallways done. Let's get done with this junk. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wait, that was not the right one. This one. There we go. Now we just gotta do these edges with the bricks. And okay, so Megan says, well, you know the deal. First month, sell all the possibility. No new game next month, no money. Math FEXE not responding. I have a formula. Assets. Oh, I got you. I hear you. That can speed up development. And we don't really use assets at TreeFall Studios. I don't use any um store-bought assets really. I've only used them very sparingly once or twice in some games, but everything is usually hand-built custom. Um, just like we're hand building this level here, and the textures were hand built, and then where materials are hand built, and then the music is hand built, and the design and the code. You get the picture. It takes a lot longer to do it that way. I know that some people can work assets into games and make them good. I just prefer not to work that way, really. I'm kind of going for the custom look, and also it's like my job, so I'm kind of like going for making my own art and stuff. It's it's my projects and stuff. So yeah, we don't really use assets too much, only if it was like something back end behind the scenes that could like really boost productivity. But we don't really like all the 3D art and stuff, like all that's like original. We do that original. I need to fix these actually. Scale. But I know that some people can make it work. And it's better if you can do it where you like incorporate some assets into your projects, but the projects are still your own. You're not just flipping someone's project on the Unity store. Then that will work out. I know a lot of people do it. Like even big YouTubers do it a lot of the time. I just don't prefer those strategies. And Spaceman Name says I was aiming for 1 to 2 releases a year. One per quarter would be pretty good if I could do it. Yeah, I mean, because like that's what I'm trying to do, but literally, like, okay, we're 2/3 of the way through the year, and I've only put out Micro Challenge this year. And then I'm going to try to get my next 3 releases all in the last quarter. But that is because, I did work on a bunch of random projects and kind of switched development back and forth. Um, with some different games, and then decided to do Micro Challenge first. So technically speaking, we moved progress along for a lot of different projects, and I think that I can get like 3 done in the last quarter because there's a bunch that are already started. And really the last quarter matters the most anyways, because that's like the Christmas rush, the Black Friday sales, and everybody's on getting new systems and stuff. Everyone's buying games and stuff. So I typically try to get my stuff out by the end of the year at least. We'll see. We'll see. You guys will find out. The Patreons know a little bit about this. And let me go ahead. Oh, look at that. Guys, look at that. They're going across. I didn't even notice. They're already going across right now. What are the odds? I was going to say, let's go ahead and give a shout out because I got to end the stream soon. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to all of the people who support TreeFall Studios on patreon.com. Got to give a personal shout out to Carmen Red, Overhyped Gamer, Shark and Minnow, and PLP. Thank you guys for what you do for TreeFall Studios on patreon.com. I could not do what I do without you guys. It means a whole lot. If you guys are interested, check out the Patreon page. You get shout outs and live streams and YouTube videos like this. You get your names in the credits of the games. You get to see behind the scenes posts that I was about to mention a little bit. Yeah, so and you can get demos and stuff early and all sorts of stuff. You get your name with a special role in our Discord servers as well. You can become a tree, a seed, and a sapling. Those are our Patreon roles. But I was gonna say I already still mentioned a little bit that on our Patreon page what games we're kind of looking at when the TreeFall Studios is doing our developers conference this year and stuff. So they have a slight teaser into what we're trying to pull off. I'm not going to talk about it too much yet here, but I got a lot of games and a lot of stuff I'm trying to pull off by the end of the year. So let's see if we can do it. And I'm gonna try to surprise you guys and like shock you with like how much awesome game content we are gonna knock out of the park. I see Thomas jumped in the stream. How was the mechanic? We are still going. This is a little bit longer today. I was getting ready to end it actually. We're just still going on these hallways here. We made the other one. I finally got this long wiggle hallway all textured around. And we're almost all closed up. This hallway is almost done. Although, when you really zoom out, you can kind of see the tile, but you're not going to be able to see it up close. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, and it's done on the inside, but not the roof. But the roof should also be easy, because we're just going to put that on grass. Or did we brick the other roofs? Got a little confused. We bricked the roof. Maybe I might want to put grass on upside down. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I want to surprise you guys. Oh my goodness. Space My Name says I'm hyped for the conference. Yeah, I'm gonna do something really crazy for the conference this year. If you guys have watched 2021's, 2022's, all the conferences are still on the channel. 2021 we had a big live show where we play the games live, and some of the people who worked on the games were on the show with me and stuff. I'm trying to possibly get patrons involved in the live show this year. I think we are going to do one. We're looking at a month out to maybe 2 months before the conference is coming around. So I'll keep you guys updated and be ready for a cool live show. We're going to be talking about the games, stuff like that. This year I want to have, usually I have something shadow drop. Usually it's on Steam, so there's usually a new game release that hits when the conference comes out, that kind of thing. I'm trying to do even a little bit more than that this year, to be honest. I'm trying to do like a surprise drop, but then also one of the surprise announcements also have a demo, some stuff like that. Don't know if it's all going to be feasible just yet, but yeah, I'm really excited with what we're working on. I can't wait to bring it to you guys soon. I thought we did this already. Did we only do it on half of it? We did. That's great. We don't really need these seams either, so we can just go delete these. Yeah, I mentioned when Mekan was asking in the stream earlier, I mentioned that you also got your rejection letter. Thomas says, great, only cost me $776. Wow. And he says, sorry to hear you rejected. I'm rooting for the next Switch at this point. Thomas says, thanks, man. Yeah, it would have been awesome to get on Switch, but it wasn't meant to happen. That's a good attitude. My Thomas has great attitude on life. Um, $776. Do you mind telling me what you had to get fixed? You don't have to, but good googly moogly. That sounds like something. Sounds like something major. What'd you do? Get your air condition fixed or something like that? That's crazy. Oh, wait. Uh, it was tires. Oh, gotcha. Yep. I should have thought of that. That makes sense. That is just a regular um, maintenance life feature you got to take care of every once in a while. Yep, that's about right. And you paid the probably about the right amount. You got some nice tires probably because you don't. That's one of the things, guys. We're not super car buffs around here. I mean, we like cars, but I'm not that knowledgeable. But you don't want to go cheap on your tires, guys. That's a very safety hazard. You want to make sure you get nice tires. Okay. With that being textured, I think we're going to call this stream. We're going to get ready to lock it off. Let's look here. Um, he says, "Dang for tires." Yeah, I would say Spaceman. That's pretty expensive. Five or 600 like minimum. That's like on the cheap end for tires. I feel like I paid $800 for tires to get nice ones on one of my other cars. I have a new car now, so like its tires are still fresh. So I haven't uh, read on the tires on that or anything. Still got a little while to go, but definitely want to get some nice tires in there. And Thomas says, got to make the vehicle safe for the baby. Yeah, you are absolutely right. 100%, my dude. 100%. I'm in the same boat. Megan says, meanwhile, me with no wife, child, nor car, too expensive. Oh my gosh, you're killing me. It's hilarious. Spaceman Name says I paid 600. I thought that was overspending. You're relieved to hear that's normal. Yeah, 600, that's in a good realm. You don't want to do like the $300 or $400 tires. Like you don't want to be going to like Walmart and buying like the cheapest one that they have. They're like rated at 20,000 miles or whatever. You can get away with it, but they're gonna tear up real fast. You might have a chance of them popping early or whatever. It's just better. It's just better for the safety of your car and for your family and everything like that. Just totally get the nice tires, guys. Um, but that's gonna do it for today's stream. What is our uptime? 2 hours and 28 minutes and 30 seconds. So okay. What can we say for one more minute? 1 more minute and 20 seconds. So we can hit exactly 2.5 hours on YouTube. So it shows that little mark. Yeah, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, guys. Follow the link down below if you're new here. I saw that this morning we had gained 2 subscribers since I went to bed yesterday. So I'm like, don't know who those people are, but thanks for joining in. That's pretty cool. We're on the road to 1,500. We're getting close. We need what is that, 83 more now, 83 more subscribers, and we're at 1,500. And yeah, that'll be an awesome giveaway time. We'll do live streams, we'll celebrate the whole TreeFall tribe, we'll get around, and we'll burn down the falling tree, I guess. I don't know. Welcome to the cult. uh and yeah, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter. Those are the two social medias we use. Don't really use Facebook, so you can't really find anything there. You can follow us on Twitter at TreeFall Games. And I already mentioned and gave a shout out to the Patreon supporters. You can find the links in the description below if you want to check out the Patreon page. If you want to get excited, be part of the conference this year, maybe, just pop a $1 a month patron fee, something like that. I'm trying to get them involved somehow. They might see a little bit behind the scenes before it's going on. Might get some like live reactions from Patreon subscribers. Trying to see what I'm going to do, but I would like to have them part of the conference. That'd be pretty cool. And then also Discord's down below. You guys can join that. Discord's really growing. We're really using that to update most of our news and stuff. We do the tweets and stuff still, but the Discord's kind of closer, more personal. We post all of our game links. You can buy the games. You can find our games in there. You can find our YouTube videos in there. You can ask me questions about game development, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you can join our Discord down below. And I think that's about it. The Micro Challenge is still our most recent game. You can buy it on PlayStation. It's only 49 cents. You want to find out about TreeFall Studios, then that's a good one to jump in with. Also, the links for all of our Steam games are down below if you are a PC player. Most of our chat today has been about PC gaming and whatnot. So if you don't have a PlayStation, you can find some of our games on Steam. But like me and Space My Name we were chatting earlier, apparently you can buy PS4s really cheap on eBay. So maybe it's time for you guys to become PlayStation users. Get a PS4, don't buy a PS5. Go with the disc versions of games. Don't do digitals unless it's indie games. And there's plenty of stuff that's awesome on there for you guys to check out and play. And TreeFall Studios has like 13 games on the catalog on PlayStation for you guys to check out and play. So get in on the PlayStation life, and that'll be a whole lot of fun. Mekan says, last comment for the day, says it was nice chat. You were quite sleepy, but I'm glad you hold on. Yeah, for a little bit, I got a little tired. I had the energy when we started, then we were like kind of buzzing down, and then well, I've been sitting for almost yeah, we broke 2.5 hours, and now I'm back to the energy, ready to go, ready to make dinner. So gotta eat, guys. We got to stop this. We got to get these blood clots, get rid of them. We got to get walking. So everybody who's watching this long, you got to get up and walk now with me. And Spaceman Name says, don't do digital. This is TreeFall Studios. Thanks, guys. Highly appreciate it. It was fun chatting today. Great stream. I will catch you guys tomorrow. I hope everyone has a great night. See ya.